Hello guys, welcome back to Forza Horizon 4. The superior game of all open world games, right? Or at least that is what the trolls out there say in every chat that comes up when it's not Forza Horizon. Meaning The Crew or Need for Speed or whatever, you always have these Forza-ton people showing up in the chat and this game is way better and this is so superior. Is it really? Let's have a quick thought about Forza Horizon 4. Or should I say Forza Horizon 3 2.0? Because that basically is what it is. It's exactly the same. It is a different location, obviously. It's compared to Australia. We moved to the UK this time. But other than that, it's the same. And some more crap coming into it. Meaning you still have wheel spins where you get cars thrown at your head. They are some people are like super excited about these wheel spins, but what they don't realize is that things are predetermined way in advance. If you just play the game, eventually you will have every car in the game. That's how predetermined they are. It's nothing to do with luck. Eventually you will get it. It's just a matter of how much do you play. If you play enough hours in the game, you will have every single car from the wheel spin. Everything that you're missing, eventually you will get. That is sort of how it goes. Of course, graphically, if you compare that to some of the other games, this thing is of course better because, like for instance, in The Crew, the thing is locked on 60 FPS, 1080p, sort of. Yeah. Then of course you have unlocked FPS here. Is that really that great? No, not really. Because there are some features in this game which are not even that great on Ultra. Of course, if you're into photography and making videos and design and that kind of stuff, for which some people out there actually bought this game, which is, yeah, that's already where it starts. That's already where the trouble comes into play. If you're only about this could be a cool picture, for instance. But yeah, if you have to buy a game about cars, which should be about driving the cars and racing the cars, but you're only interested in taking pictures and making videos of it or whatever, then you spend like 60, 70, 80, 90 euros for it. I have my doubts on it. And especially when those kind of people are into some sort of groups and stuff, and they're determining the line of the developer's take, then you get all kind of strange things happening. For instance, you have the car customization, but you also have the character customization, of course. So also that's a trouble in the beginning. People are playing the game, they want to have certain cars, they want to have credits. You get some money, you get some cars occasionally, but you're mainly getting a lot of crap as well. More specifically, all this kind of crap. You have your customized character, of course. You have a zillion of t-shirts and all kind of stuff. You have jackets and legs and all that, and feet and hats and all kind of stuff for the eyes and the nose and whatnot. It's a game about cars. It should be about cars. It should not be about what the hell this guy is wearing. And then we're not even going to talk about that last category, which I didn't even bother to go through. But the emotes. Some sort of stupid dance that your driver is doing. Because when is this thing actually dancing and doing all kind of moves is whenever the thing is loading and whenever it takes ages to start up a race and whenever you're in a lobby together cross-platform with some Xbox players who are taking ages to connect to the guys from the PC, and then it's like in this menu thing here and the camera is spinning around on your car again and again and your driver is standing next to it. And if you then happen to win a race, that thing starts dancing. Fortnite emotes or whatever it is they are. I have no idea what they're doing in a racing and driving game. But apparently it is important. All the rest, not so much. That is for just the visual kind of aspect of it. And then when I do a video on the crew or so, I get a lot of comments. Yeah, but in the crew, if you play through the campaign, that's basically what the game is. It's like no content enough, and it's you go through a campaign and that's it. But then of course you have this game here, and that has like all kind of stuff happening. Really? Well, let's have a look, eh? Indeed, there are all kind of stuff happening. If we filter that a little bit, and we for instance go to the speed traps and the speed zones and the danger signs and the drift zones, then it sort of looks like that. And what you see on this map here now is what we have, for instance, also in the crew called skill tests. Here they called PR stunts, and that's like all the cameras and all that. Once you have those things on 3 stars, there is not one single need to actually get back there and do it again for some reason or another. You just have to unlock these things, and once you have all of them unlocked and you have a certain speed reached, you will have everything on 3 stars, and then you're completely done with this thing. Which brings us to the event itself. 4 categories: road racing, dirt racing, cross country and street scene. That means that those are all the map events, all the races available on the map. And that's sort of about it. Then you can do like private adventures with your friends and so, and then you have the road and the dirt and the cross country available. Street scene is not available. If you want to play around in the street scene, which some of them are quite interesting tracks, you cannot do that with your friends because they are not in there. So you have to go online racing, which is even worse. We will come to that in a second. So we have all of these events. In Forza Horizon 3, there were 2 options to do these things. You could do them in like a single event, which they call exhibition, or you could do them in a championship, which basically combined a couple of these races. So if you have like, let's just call it 1, 2, 3 now. For now, we have like blue 1 here, Glenrannoch, and you have the Greendale Club Circuit, and you have Lakehurst Corps Circuit, and so on. And you could do these things as a single race, as an exhibition. Or you could do them in Forza Horizon 3 as a championship, and then when you went here, then it sort of picked this and this and this, and it combined those 2 blue races, and it made a championship of it. And if you went here, then it picked this one, and maybe this one, and maybe that one, and then it combined those 3. But basically, it were always the same races that you were doing again and again and again. So we have these races. A campaign to go through and that's it, they say in the crew. Well, it's not much different here because it's exactly the same. A campaign to go through, and when you have done everything, you have seen it, and that's it. Now, in Forza Horizon 4 compared to 3, the championships are gone. Are they really? No, they are not. They just renamed them. And instead of being permanent on your map and be able to do one of these championships, which is a bunch of these races put together, they just call them differently, and they now call them seasonal events. And those seasonal events occasionally show up, and then it's like a seasonal championship, they call it. But it's basically exactly what we had in Forza Horizon 3. A few of these single events put together into a championship. In Forza Horizon 3, they were permanent on the map. Now they have just renamed them, and they are called seasonal events. Forza Horizon 3 2.0. That's why I say it like that, because it doesn't immediately like, oh yeah, we have championships. No, we have seasonal events now, but it's exactly the same. So basically, you went through all these events, and you have done all that championships. Just don't bother about it. They are hiding some cars behind that and whatnot. Now, slightly the game is starting to get boring. So now they have decided for update number 7 that they're gonna put some more stuff together and camouflage, hide it behind some other stuff. And they are going to, if you open your menu, which you here see now, welcome back, check what is happening. You will be able to see from Thursday on, update number 7, and then it will say Festival Playlist. The Festival Playlist is going to put everything on your map including the seasonal events, into some sort of list. And then they're going to make it in such a way that you have to play whatever it is that you might not even want to play. You're gonna have to play it if you want to get, for instance, the Ford Capri Forza edition. That car hasn't been in the game yet. It was a Forzathon, a Grandmaster reward in season number 5, but at that time nobody was Grandmaster yet, so nobody could get it. Well, really? Could you not get the car? That's strange. Somehow I have one in my garage though. Yesterday in the stream they said that it was not really in the game. Now somebody messed it up at some point or another, and they put it on in the Forzathon shop for about 20 minutes, and so you could get it. And obviously there were about 600 people or whatever that get their hands on it in those 20 minutes. Other than that, of course, you have dev builds, and there are also pre-released popular YouTubers and the so-called legends. They're not really legends, but yeah, they just call them like that. And they get their hands on everything, and they have them, and all kind of stuff is happening on the site. And basically, I think there are quite a lot of people out there who already have a Ford Capri Forza edition by now, as I am one of them, as you can see. So they're gonna put this festival thing up, and you're gonna have to play through that. If you have it 50% done, you're gonna get a Ferrari F50 GT. If you have it 100% done, you're gonna get this thing, the Ford Capri Forza edition. What does that actually mean, 100% done? Well, that basically means that whatever it is that you play, or that you don't play, or that you don't even want to play, you're gonna have to do it. If you want to get that Forza edition of the Ford Capri, you're gonna have to play whatever is available in the game. That means if you look on the map and you put everything on here, that basically means everything. All of these races need to be done, all of the PR stunts need to be done, especially if they are in a seasonal event. That means not just this season or next season, no, 4 seasons in a row, 28 days in a row. Forzathon, weekly challenge, daily challenge, you have to do all of them. Online adventures, you need to qualify in probably in everything and single. So like you have ranked team racing, you have free for all. I don't have anything with these kids games. I'm not even ranked in it. I'm probably gonna have to rank in it. I have to go through 10 qualification rounds or whatever it is to get ranked in it to be able to do that, because otherwise I cannot reach 100% of the festival thing to get that Ford Capri Forza edition. Next to that you have rivals, which I barely touched in this game because I don't like it. You have these monthly rivals. I like rivals, but not in the way it's set up in this game. So you're gonna have to do this, and you're going to have to monthly rivals, probably also 4 seasons, and you have to do a lap, which is it has to be a clean lap. It cannot be flagged. If you do that, then you will get it into gold, and you need to get everything into gold of that festival playlist to be able to get to 100%. That means daily challenges for 4 seasons, that's about 28 days, 4 weeks of weekly events that needs to be done, and all of that, because otherwise you can't get the thing to 100% to be able to get this thing, a car which is supposedly not in the game, although I'm driving it, as well as a couple of hundred other people out there. On the Xbox app there is something called duplication glitch. They do not fix that, which means people are duplicating cars as it is. You see every day, you see more and more cars show up in the thing, in the auction house, which is also utterly bullshit. We already talked about the graphics in this game, but yeah, if you put it on ultra, it takes about 90% of your CPU and GPU. If you put it on high, the difference is not that big, so then it takes about 40% of your GPU and CPU. So not so sure what is happening with that ultra thing, but it takes 50% more of your CPU somehow. Now, if you want to go to the auction house, you probably do not want to put your game on ultra on high, because you're going to lose every single car that you want, and you are going to miss out on it. You have to put this thing in low or very low to be able to cut down the loading screens so that you can snipe, as they call it, faster in the auction house. I'm not gonna do that now because I don't bother one single bit with that auction house. But you already saw it, just this one thing here. If you click on an abort, it's spinning a wheel for a few seconds. If I click on this car, here we go, loading, 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 get a black screen for about 2 seconds. And now I can bid or place the buyout. Meanwhile, this car is still be there because it's not that rare. If this would be a rare car, it's already long time ago before I can actually bid on it. So I don't even need to bother like bidding on it. But if I look for a Hot Wheels car, let's have a look. Probably will not be any on. Not that I need it, but so you have to click and go through this. By that time, you already fell asleep, more or less. As you can see, no Hot Wheels cars available. Although we have a twin mill and we have a rip rod and we have a bone shaker, which is basically smashing everything in A-class in online racing. So all those people want that car. That means that none of these Hot Wheel cars, although we have 4, are available in the auction house. As soon as somebody posts one, it's gone within seconds. That's how it goes. So I have to search and search and search again, and preferably with lower, very low settings, because otherwise you cannot snipe the cars. Other than that, it is with the elite paintings and so you can't do much. So you have to be legend painter or legend tuner, which means 50,000 downloads. That's basically a popularity thing or just a luck-based thing. It has nothing to do with designs or whatever that you have. It is what it is. And then if you are 50,000, you are completely stuck, because then you get like the legend status, and if you are the legend status, then you can sell a few cars for 20 million, and 2 days later you are on the maximum box and you're completely stuck in this game. I have one in my team, he's legend tuner. He's like, yeah, yes, his auto auction garage is full of cars. He has like 2 billion credits to collect, but he can't because he's on the maximum box. So he cannot. So he has to give away credits so that he be able to get special rare cars that he bought in the auction house to get them out of his garage and stuff like that. So legend status, it's something people are going for, but once you have it, you're going to regret it because you're going to be stuck like in 2 days later. So not advisable that way either. So there is all kind of stuff happening, which is a bit pisspot shit. Then we go to online racing. We were expected all kind of changes there in yesterday's stream for update 7 and 8 and so on. Not really. All a bit of camouflage, because we got some strange explanation about the wall riding fix to begin with. This thing was supposed to be fixed somewhere between update 5 and 6. We are meanwhile into season 6. We have 5 days to go, and then there will be update number 7. They have postponed the wall riding fix towards season 8, so they are like already 2 months and a half later. Why is that? Probably because they can't fix it. And the fix that they had would, if I think about it, probably will be like a very stupid one. But they were working on it, and then they came with some lame excuse yesterday that it was something with the cross country, a discipline that not many people like to begin with. People like road racing and street scene, maybe a bit of dirt occasionally, but the cross country, not really. They play it, it can be fun occasionally, but not to do it road after road after road. And that is more or less what you get in online racing. If you have a bad day on online racing, you get cross country lobbies every single race all evening long. Now, and because of that cross country, there are jumps occasionally when they put a ramp there. And next to that ramp are, of course, walls. So probably what I make of this is that their solution would have been like, hey, we can fix the wall riding by taking away the walls, like they do in street scene. In street scene there are no walls, So that people can also not wall ride if there are no walls, which is also resulting in people flying out into the fields everywhere, because 70% of the people in this game can't drive a car. They don't use brakes, they just use the walls to turn and stuff like that. If they're not using the walls, then they use other players to turn, because the collisions are not off either. So it is one big ramming festival, it's one big wall riding festival. You have tree dodging crap, which they call free roam rush. All of that is basically the online racing, and it's getting worse and worse. Other than that, you have some stupid corrupt point system, which makes no sense at all. You lose points if you win a lobby. We did with a pretty good team, green leagues, 4 green leagues in our team yesterday. We did a team adventure, we win with 3-0 and we get -1. Why? Because the people that we were playing against were not high enough leagues so that we could not win points. Because you can only win points against higher ranked teams or players. That is very interesting if the matchmaking would actually put us against higher ranked players. But we are green leagues. We well, I'm not sure where I am now at the moment. 9, I think. Yeah. I'm a League 9 in Free for All, and I'm a League 10 in Ranked Adventure. That is the team adventure. So Ranked Racing, I'm a 9, I'm a 10, I'm a Green League. I was playing with some other Green Leagues, a couple of 10s as well, a 9, a 7 I think. We were 4 or 5 people in the team. We come up against blue and pink players. That means that is really, really bad. Because you can lose a lot of points against those donks. Because they are ramming you out of checkpoints, they are wall riding like crazy, and before you know it, you lose the championship with like 3-1 or 3-2, and you lose 50-60 points. If you lose 50-60 points for your league, that's probably gonna take you about 10 lobbies to get them back. Because if you win from those purple and blue leagues, you get like +0, +1 if you're lucky. And that is more or less how this point system works in online racing. It is a bunch of bullshit. It would work properly if you would actually have high leagues, but the higher leagues find the whole point system stupid, and they basically left the game. Yellow players, you barely ever see them. The yellow leagues are the highest leagues available, next to the Grandmaster, of course. The Grandmaster is the ultimate goal, but then you have yellow leagues, which is from League 1 to League 5. Then you have the green leagues from 6 to 10, blue league is 11, 15, and then 16 to 20 is the lower leagues, more or less. So if this system matchmaking thing is working, then you have, of course, the races itself as well. The races, yeah, that is also nothing new. It's not like for these online adventures that you have like completely new circuits. No. Those are just the events on the map. Content-wise, people sometimes complaining, oh my, the crew videos. Yeah, well, this is exactly the same. If you open this map, you have these events here, and they put those things in PvP, in the crew. They did exactly the same here. All of these events that you see here, they put them in online racing. And there are also no new tracks here or anything like that. So it's exactly the same. Now, of course, these races, if you played campaign and so you are familiar with them, you can learn the tracks and so on. But then, of course, you have the connection from those events. Because what is the online racing? It is a lobby of 5 races, more or less. And it is 3 races, and in between those 3 races, they are connecting to each other. Give you one example. If you, for instance, take, let's say, the cross-country series only. There is, for instance, in online lobby, you have a lobby which has, what is it here? The North City cross country circuit. It has the Beachview cross country, and it has the Quarry cross country circuit. Now, those 3 events, 1, 2, 3, that is basically what the online lobby is. So you do this, as you can see here, you do this track here, and you do it 3 laps in the city. Although it is cross country, I also advise you, while I'm on this subject, to not take a pickup here, but actually take a rally car or something, because it's taking place in the city. A pickup is not really that great. Now, so that is event number 1. Event number 2 is the beach view cross country. That means that in the free roam rush, or the tree dodging crap in between, that is basically race number 2. Is you drive from the North City cross country circuit and you drive to the beach view cross country, and that is more or less what you do. And that is what they call a free roam rush. You basically connect yourself instead of fast traveling there or something. No, you actually have to drive there into the free roam rush, and you have to find the fastest way available. Now, for this one, that is pretty simple. You just follow this road, you come over here, you cut left through the trees, you go onto the highway, and you then go through the first tunnel, left, have to go through this river here, and then you arrive here. That's more or less what the route is, because that's what that free roam thing is. Memorize the route. Nothing more, nothing less. It would be a bit more interesting if they would put some checkpoints here or there and actually make it a race, instead of some random crap where everybody is driving through trees and flying through fields all over the place. Everybody trying to find their own route, and the fastest guy wins. Yeah, not really. Then we have this beach view cross country, which is the next one in that lobby, and so it goes all the way here, and then you finish here somewhere. This is not a circuit, so that is like an A to B race, and you finish on the castle cross country circuit. That is more or less where the finish of the beach view is. So about here somewhere, I think it is. That is sort of where you finish, and then we are aware that the third race is this quarry cross country circuit, and that basically means that you have to get from here to there, and that is free roam rush number 2. And that there is some sort of route that you can take through here, and then go here over here towards this road, more or less, and then cross over the bridge and just jump into the quarry, and that's more or less the free roam. And then there you have the quarry cross country. If you do have to do all 5 of them, if you play free for all, if you play team adventure, obviously then it matters what the score is. If you have a good team about, and it can be 3-0, then it is over after you have done the beach view. If they manage to win like the free roam in between or something, the other team, yeah, then you have to do the second free roam. And if it's 2-2, then you eventually have to do the quarry as well, more or less. But it can be over in team adventure after 3 races. That's not the case in free for all. In free for all, you have to do all 5. So whether you like it or not, you have to do that free roam crap, as we call it, because that's basically what it is. Don't even want to do that. But that might be solved in season number 9, which is somewhere in May, where they're going to come up with the custom playlist adventure, another thing that is coming back from Forza Horizon 3, which again makes this game more Forza Horizon 3 2.0 than actually 4. Well, not 4 point, but Forza Horizon 4, I mean. Just a different location. It's UK instead of Australia, but other than that, it's basically the same game. So, a bit of a, yeah, I'm not gonna say a rant video, but just to point out to all of those trolls out there in chats all over the place, that this game is way not so superior as they think it is. It might be looking good visually, but I don't care for that. This is a game, it should be about cars, it should be about driving, it should be about racing. You can drive a car on a pretty small map, and other than that, when you go to racing, it is one big bullshit. Tree dodging, wall riding isn't fixed, it's camouflaged by the fact that they supposedly for cross country, that is bullshit. They can't fix it, they can't not get it together. People are ramming more and more, it turns into a ramming festival. We have collisions off in freedom. Why are the collisions on in racing? Whoever thinks it is a good idea to put collisions on in racing at playgrounds should immediately be fired. Whoever came up with that idea should be fired instantly. That is my opinion. Because it always turns into this ramming fest. And I know what the problem is. The problem is casual player and kids. They need it, they like it, they like to ram, they need to ram because they can't drive a car. And if they don't put the collisions on, then those kids cannot win. But for competitive guys, it is a pain in the ass, because you get rammed by some random players who can't drive a car, and you actually lose 50-60 points in that corrupt point system, and it takes you 10 lobbies to get your points back. And then you can say, yeah, well, if you're like the so-called competitive driver or pro driver, as some want to like sort of shimp on you, yeah, that doesn't mean anything. You can just get hit by everybody. You might be the better driver or the faster driver, but if some of these nubbits just ram you and you hit a tree, then you are behind no matter what, and then you can be the fastest driver all you want, especially if that's in a free roam rush. It's completely random trash thing. So it is like, yeah, you can memorize the routes all you want, you're not gonna help much. Eventually you're gonna win because there are like 5 races, and then of course you get like some sort of revenge thing going, like, hey, you ram me, I ram you back, and hey, before you know it, everybody's wall riding and everybody's ramming, and online is dead. And that's basically what is happening now. Yellow players are leaving the game, the green players you find less and less. That also means that you can't score many points anymore, because the high leagues, the ones that you can score to, they are no longer there. So yeah, it's all about losing points, staying where you are. You will not be able to level up again, because the point system doesn't work, the wall riding isn't fixed, and the ramming is one big issue, which they don't even mention. If you mention it in the chat box of a live stream or so, you get timed out, you get banned. It's the same story like if you mention a Toyota Supra. You cannot mention that. Can't mention that Toyota has like not given the license for the cars. They only have the trucks in the game, which is a different company than the car company. So, but yeah, it is all what it is. Is Toyota Supra coming? Yeah, more or less. Seen it is almost the same as a BMW Z4. It is coming because the new BMW Z4 is coming in Season 7. It will be somewhere in that new Horizon Festival playlist. They have a thing with Mustangs as well. I would think it's like number 14, 15, and 16 that they are bringing now of these Mustangs. This time under the RTR livery. They bring a Mustang Spec 5. And then they bring 2 of the Formula Drift cars from Von Gitter Jr. and Chelsea De Nova. They will bring 2 of those, but basically there are like 3 times the same car that they're bringing there. And then an old Pontiac GTO, a Lotus Elise Series 1, a BMW M3 GTR from 2002. Stuff like that. Those will be more or less the playlist rewards, or the so-called what they are now calling seasonal rewards. But they put it in a playlist, and then it will be stuff like that. So we have this playlist thing with seasonal events, and if you complete it for 50%, you will get like a certain car. If you complete it for 100%, you will get some of those what we are now getting as a seasonal reward. They will put it like in the 100% thing there now. So that's for summer, and then in spring it will be another car. Also the Porsche 914-6 is in there somewhere, and then the same will be happening for autumn and winter season and so on. They announced about 8 cars, I think, so that will be the seasonal events, 50% and 100%. And then in the whole playlist is 50% is the Ferrari F50 GT, which is a car pretty expensive, but you can buy it in the auto show, so nothing special about that. And then this thing, if you complete everything 100%, the Forza Capri Forza edition. That sort of is it. In Season 8, what are we going to bring there? Something, yeah, that we already have in Need for Speed Payback. Meaning online drifting adventures. So instead of racing, you will also be able to do some drifting. Very interesting with the collisions on. I'm pretty sure of that. Will be very interesting. Season number 9, because yeah, we already know what's happening. You're gonna get like, you work your way up, you get like a high multiplier, and then some knobbit drives along and he just knocks you out of your multiplier and you lose all your points. That is already something you can expect in Season 8. In Season 9, on the other hand, we have the custom playlists, which basically means that you can select your own categories and all that kind of stuff in a online adventure. And then we're gonna get like select B class, some other dude selects B class, and that's it. You're gonna be like 30 minutes trying to find a matchmaking lobby, which will not succeed. Eventually you get in there, you find one other player or something like that. And then you do one race, and that other player say like, oh, you're too strong for me, I'm gonna leave the lobby. And then it actually stops the whole championship because there are no more players in that thing. So to avoid that, because that's more or less what I'm selling here now is what's happening in Forza Horizon 3. So to avoid that, they have altered these custom playlist adventure as they call them, and they're still working on it. So we'll see how much they have altered slash improved towards season number 9, but that's for somewhere in May. That's more or less where the focus is going to be on. Season 8, it's Drift Adventure. Season 9, it is custom adventures. More adventures, more crap probably, unless they first fix the things that are in there and they are stop ignoring us and actually listening to us. If you want some proper racing going on in your online community, then you need to fix the wall riding, you need to get rid of the collisions, you need to get rid of this free roam trash. You can keep all that as much as you want in unranked racing, but not in ranked racing. Other than that, it's all camouflage and hidden stuff. The seasonal events is basically the championships that we had in Forza Horizon 3 permanently on the map. Now they took them off permanently and they just come up with them every week, another thing, and they call it seasonal events. But it's just the same bloody events that are already on your map combined. If you combine these three, and then you can easily make a championship, or in this case, a seasonal event. Different name, same thing, over and over. Forza Horizon 3 2.0 for you, ladies and gentlemen. Enough of ranting, just to point out that this game is far from perfect as some people claim it to be. I will see you guys in the next one, and bye for now.